Market's looking a little bit better this week than it was last week. Let's go ahead and get straight into it. So last week I got into a sell on Euro AUD. I sold at the resistance zone with a stop loss just above the zone and target below. I shared this trade that I was in here in my free Telegram channel. I'll put a link in the description or the pinned comment. If you're not in there, it's just where I post all my analysis, all my trades and stuff. But basically, I was in this trade right here. I closed it almost to the profit target on Friday. And this one I made like $92,000, I think, on it. It was a pretty nice trade. I still ended last week down. I was still down about $80,000, which is about 1 unit of risk for me. It's about 1 unit of R because I risk between like $50,000 to $100,000 per trade. So still a down week, and this week I'm just, I'm waiting for good opportunities. So where are the good opportunities? We're going to go ahead and jump right into the good opportunities. As far as Euro AUD, I continue to just wait, and price is either going to come back up here in this resistance zone. I don't know if I'll sell again, but if it does come back into this support zone, I think that almost certainly I'll be buying there. I just think it's a good trade from a risk structure perspective. Another one here is AUDJPY. Now, I considered getting short on this. The problem with AUDJPY is that we've got so many different ways it can go. We've got a pretty reasonable clear zone right here on the higher time frames, like the weekly, the daily. And but currently price is sitting at a resistance zone where it's at. So if I go to the lower time frames, like the 1 hour, which way is it going to go, right? It was going up, it broke above this zone, came back to retest it. And then when it came to retest it, it bounced like twice, failed, went down to the next area. Now we're coming back up. So like, what are we going to do? Are we going to bounce here and make like a lower high and then go down further? Or are we just going to continue the overall uptrend on the higher time frames and just continue like bursting through all these zones and like go up to the next one? I really don't know. So as far as AUDJPY, for now, I'm just going to kind of be like hanging clear of it. I do think that if price comes back down here into this region, it'd be decent, though I'm not sure if I'll buy. And my original plan stays intact of just selling here at this clear resistance zone. So honestly, this looks a lot better. GBP NZD, I've been waiting for this to set up. Now, if we go to the lower time frames here, you can see the last little low that price made whenever it was on the breakout was way down in here. So whenever you go to the higher time frames, like the daily and the weekly, right, all I did is I took a little zone, I put it to where all the previous highs were, and then I just have my zone marked in there. So if price can get down into here, I think that'd be good enough for like a little break and retest trade. We could obviously get a fake out and price could dump off below the zone. However, I do think that it's perfectly reasonable to think price might bounce there. And if it does, I'll be looking to take a buy with a stop below and a target above right there. And again, I'll be posting all these in Telegram. So you should follow my Telegram channel, link in the description or the pinned comment. If you're not in there, what are you doing? There's like 50,000 people in there. Are you in my Telegram channel?
I'm in your Telegram channel.
You don't even follow my trades.
No.
My wife's not even in my Telegram channel. This is how
But you should be in the Telegram channel.
You should be in the Telegram channel, my friend. Go ahead, click the link, join the Telegram channel. I'm going to post all my stuff in here. So that's GBP NZD. Buy is there at the support. We will see what happens. And if something sets up, I will be an excited young man. Actually, I'm getting kind of old. I'm 30 now. So I'll still be excited. So let's go to AUD CAD. So AUD CAD started to bounce here at the zone. I don't see anything for the time being. I think that these zones that are currently near price right here is far too used. I don't think they're good enough for now. I think this high will be nice just because it's really clear. The problem is here on the weekly, daily charts, like it's just so far away. It's just not worth looking at right now. So I'm just going to leave AUD CAD alone for now. GBP USD, my plan remains the same. Wait for a price to push here just below 1.32. And then if price starts to bounce, I'll be taking a buy. Remember, all I do is I buy at support, I sell at resistance. It's very, very simple stuff. I post all these analysis and trades in my Telegram. So I just buy and like, look, here's the last one. Let me just show you. Euro AUD, like I showed you at the beginning of the video, I sell at the resistance, stop loss above and a target below. All I do is I make a little more than I lose long term. And every month I only come out on top, maybe like 2 or 3 units of reward. So like if I'm risking an average of 75K per trade, I might make like, maybe like $75,000 to $150,000 per month. And some months I'll have losing some months I'll have losing months, some weeks I'll have losing weeks. I went on a win streak where I made like 170 grand in a week. And then last week I went on a losing streak where at one point I was down like 170 grand. And then I made 100 grand back at the end of the week. And so now I was down 70 grand for last week. But stuff like that happens all the time. But it's like, I don't use big risk rewards. I don't have all these mental gymnastics as a portion of my analysis. I don't take a million trades. I just wait for really simple setups in the higher time frame. And it's like, for me, it's easy. It's just the same stuff over and over again. It's real easy to duplicate, real easy to learn. You know, if you're following my trades and everything. So just keep following them. It's very, very simple stuff. You're not going to win every day. You're not going to win every week, but you'll make a little more than you lose long term. That's all that matters. Now, Euro Canadian dollar. If Euro Canadian dollar can get back into this zone, I think I might buy. Price barely came there last week, but didn't quite get all the way, and then it already bounced. So, I didn't get that. Last week, personally, though, I was waiting for it to come all the way here. When I saw that wasn't going to happen, I set an alert at the zone up here, and price never got there. It's a pretty nice clear zone. Price had bounced off here as resistance, then price came over here, bounced off at a support a couple times again, and then again right here. I think if we could see price get back into that zone, it'll at least be good enough for like a little bounce, right? Like something like this. Stop loss below, target at a 1-to-1, just like a trade like that, right? And then if that stops out, well, we can just buy again down here. That one, that one will probably work out. And then worst case scenario, we just kind of like break even, right? We lost one, then we won one. Best case scenario, we make 1R. So that'd be good. We will see what happens. USD Canadian dollar. USD Canadian dollar stopped me out last week, and I had sold here. I made a video about this already on my channel, so I won't get too far into it. I'm looking for price to fall here at this zone. This weekly open right here, we've started to push up a little bit. I don't think price is going to come back and retest the zone. And I could be wrong, but like we've just seen price like churning upwards, just struggling. So what are the potential outcomes? Well, the first one I think is the second one, which is still, I think, a good chance. It could pull back down, then go up. And then the third outcome is that this is just a fake out and we just dip back below the zone. I would be really upset if this is a fake out because I was short on this. I risked a lot of money on this. I think like $75,000. And I lost $75,000 in a day on that. And I didn't tell my wife about it. So, do you ever get upset at me for losing ungodly amounts of money?
No.
Yeah. Last week I lost $300,000 in crypto and in forex.
Several Birkin bags, but
I don't know how I'm gonna pay the bills this month, brother. Well, that's USD CAD. So GBP JPY. What am I looking for in GJ? The same thing as last week. We just didn't get anything. We didn't get any movement on the candle. That was last week's candle right there. It just kind of stayed in this little range and closed with a. This is an indecision Japanese Wagyu beef Kobe steak candlestick right here. It's got the closure. And then it didn't come all the way back to test this zone. What am I waiting for this week? I'm waiting for price to come back in here and test this zone. Then if it tests the zone, I think it might bounce. I will buy there with a stop below and a target above. I'll make sure to post all the specifics in the Telegram channel. So, Euro GBP, what am I looking for? I'm looking for price to kind of fall a little bit lower here into this zone, then I'll be buying. Euro GBP is a really nice mean reversion pair. I've said this in a lot of previous videos before, but Euro GBP, AUD CAD, AUD NZD, and NZD CAD. Those four pairs, really good mean reversion pairs. That just means they kind of move around a lot back and forth. You have like a lot of trend pairs, which is a lot of USD pairs, and also JPY pairs can go crazy in trends when there's risk on, risk off sentiment in the market. You just see them stampede in one direction, like sometimes without any pullbacks. Euro GBP, AUD CAD, AUD NZD, and NZD CAD have really good like back and forth movements. It's just like they just go up and down over and over, and they just go back and forth, and they just grind sideways sometimes. And I get to the point where like I can't even finish one of my trades because it's just going sideways. But what that means is that you have really good support resistance zone. You have really good support and resistance trades with these pairs. If I'm just cherry picking some stuff right here, look at stuff like this. Here's the past week, right? So this is like a past year of data just from here all the way back here. But you have price bounce at support, bounce at resistance, break above, come back, bounce at support, starts going up. Now we've been here at this resistance zone for the last, what is this? Since April of this year, again in July of this year, and then recently, last month here in September. So, it's just, they're really good. It moves back and forth a lot. The only thing about these pairs is you really have to wait for them to like get to the zones. You can't be trading in between because like if it just keeps going sideways and you're buying and selling back and forth, there's no real way to control risk. Where are you going to put your stop loss if you're buying here in the middle of the zone? You're going to put it all the way below this next zone? Well, then you should have just bought there at that zone. Then you have a stop loss in the same place, but you only have to target this far. And you're buying at an area where price has already bounced before a couple times, showing that there might be people's take profit orders there, which might cause price to bounce up. There might be people with buy limit orders there, thinking that price might bounce up. There might be people that wait for price to get there and they're in a short position, and then they see that price starts to bounce, so then they liquidate their short positions and cover, causing price to bounce up a little bit. It's just easier to trade off support resistance. So With that being said, I'm going to be waiting for price to get here, and if it gets there, cool, and if not, cool. I'll also be waiting for price to get back up here. I would probably sell again up there, just because it's worth a shot. Like, if it breaks, fine, but like, man, Euro GBP is really reliable with the back and forth movements of the mean reversion. So Euro US dollar, I just said Euro US dollar was like ranging because US dollar, or I just said USD was trending because US dollar pairs trend a lot. But Euro US dollar here, what are we doing? We're going sideways. We've been going sideways for a little while. Now, of course, we're having big ranges and movements back and forth, but if Euro USD can get up here, I'm going to call it like right here into this zone. I'll probably sell. Now, what I would like even more personally is if price could get down here into this zone, because then I could buy. The stop loss would go just a bit below. Target would go up here. So trade, let me see, probably something like that. So I'll be looking for buys on Euro USD. And if it gets up here into this zone, say like, in here, and I can sell right there, I'll put a sell there. I need to put a stop there above that little recent high. So my stop will go there. And then target will just go at 1-to-1. These are such easy trades, especially if you risk a lot of money on them, right? Even if you're like starting out and you got like 10 grand to trade with, right? You just risk $1,000 on each trade. Not financial advice. Just do whatever you want. Trading's risky. Most people lose money. Don't sue me. But like that being said, like if it's in your risk tolerance and you're retarded like me trading forex, then you have like 10K worth of a trading account. Let's say you got 50K capital to trade with. You just put 10K into an account. You use the leverage with these brokers. That way you protect most of your capital. And then with that 10K, you just risk like $1,000 per trade. Well, boom, like if you risk $1,000 per trade, and let's say after every 10 trades, you come out like 1 or 2 units of profit, right? Maybe out of 10 trades, you win 6 and then you lose 4, right? So that's plus 2 units of profit right there. Plus break evens and stuff like that. You could have like break evens, you could have small winners, small losses, things like that. If you average out to 1 to 2 units of risk for every 10 trades, and you're risking $1,000 per trade, after every 10 trades, you might come out $2,000 profit. That's pretty cool. And if you're getting plenty of trades, like, the stats work themselves out. If you're risking higher dollar amounts, like just do the math, right? If you start risking $5,000 per trade, every 10 trades, you're probably going to come out $5,000 to $10,000 of profit. That is pretty cool. And then you'll have win streaks where you do better, right? After 10 trades, you come out in like, say like $20,000 of profit or something crazy like that, like 4 units of reward. But you also have losing streaks where you get to the end of like 10 trades and then you like lost 6 and won 4. So it's like, you lost like, $10,000. So you have to just be careful about things like that. But all in all, if you're just buying and selling at support resistance, it's so easy to structure the risk, right? When you go to the higher time frames like the daily and the weekly, it becomes very obvious, right? These are the setups. If price gets up there, you'll sell with a stop above, target below. If price gets down here into this zone, you'll buy with a stop below and a target above. The same old simple stuff over and over and over. CAD JPY, I'm going to be waiting on price to get to one of these zones to buy or sell. It looks like it's pretty far, so there's nothing to do. USD JPY, I don't even know. I have an alert here, and I'm still considering buying or selling right there. I'll have to watch what the other JPYs are doing if they get there, but for now, USD JPY, I still have my alert there around 1.4 or 146. AUDUSD, I don't think she will get here. I was considering using this zone, but I wanted to be really, really extreme about it, and I wanted to wait for price to get all the way here to this bigger zone here. It's just price has more interaction points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It just has a lot more interaction points there. So I'll be waiting for price to get there. I don't know if that'll happen. I don't think it'll happen, honestly, but like if it does, I'll be a buyer there with a stop below and a target above. NZD USD. So this was a pretty good one. This is a trade I made $125,000 on, and this was actually my biggest trade of my trading career. I risked, I think, like 80,000 or something like that, and I had a little bit more than a 1-to-1 risk reward. It was like a 1 to 1.5 risk reward. So I came out on top $125,000 of this. This is all posted in the Telegram channel. So if you're not on that Telegram, make sure you follow. How many times have I told people to join the Telegram?
Get in the Telegram channel.
Yeah, just join the damn Telegram channel, please. Like, just do it. This is what this whole video is about. I'm just trying to get you in the Telegram channel so I can share these trades for you for free. Surely nothing bad can happen. But you're not even in the Telegram channel. You're leaving money on the table.
I'm too busy working.
Leaving money on the table. Last week, you could have lost $300,000 with me had you been in the Telegram channel. So NZD USD, this is a good trade. Why did I sell? Well, I sold right there because when price broke below the zone, came back and tested. I just thought price might bounce. So I entered a sell. It started coming down. This one ended up closing in profit like, I think a week and a half ago. So it was good. I was actually hit the profit target barely right there. My trade looked something like this. So I think my target was at the previous low. Stop was above, and it was like this. It started out at 50K risk. I added to it as it went further into the zone, and then it just started plummeting, and it was a quick and easy trade. So NZD USD, very, very, very nice. What am I looking for now? If she comes back up there in that resistance zone, I might consider selling. Otherwise, I think this is a better zone. I think this is going to be a lot more fun. I think we're going to have a lot better time. Problem is, I think it'll be a long time before price gets there. We do have things like this where price moves a lot in 1 week, right? But that's few and far between. I think it could take probably like maybe another month before price gets there realistically, if it gets there at all. So we'll see. GBP Canadian dollar. So I was considering going short on this, but the problem is when I go to the 1 hour, actually, this is starting to look pretty good. Actually, my friends, this right here is looking good. Yeah, and we're already in Asian session. So we already have a candle closure on the daily into the zone. My friends, I think I'm going to be going ahead and getting short on GBP CAD again. Yeah, okay, so let's go ahead and break this down. So this is the trade I'm going to call out right after this. I'm going to call this out in my Discord group. I'll post it in the Telegram channel as well. Here's a little freebie for you guys. Now, what I'll do is I'm going to sell right here. And I'm going to put a stop loss above the zone and the recent high. So actually, it looks fine right there. And then I'm going to put a target below of just a 1-to-1. So this is what this trade will look like. It'll look like this. So now, could we bounce right here? You know, I know some people, you'll be thinking like, you know, should we really be selling when it's at support? Like, I don't know. Like, right, if it was at support, like it should have bounced already, right? Look how many times we tried to bounce. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is this even count as 6 times? Does that count as 7 times? It's tried to bounce a bunch of times. It's failed to bounce. I think it's probably going to go down. So what I'm going to do right here is I'm going to do what I always do. I'm going to post in the Telegram channel. Let me just kind of get this a little bit situated here. So I'm going to put a little arrow thing here. That way, in case you are a complete idiot, you know exactly what I'm doing because there is a big purple arrow. And we'll post this here in the Telegram channel. I'm probably gonna get short on GBP CAD soon. GBP CAD looks really good. Yeah, this looks like price is gonna go. So, I mean, look at it. Price came into the resistance zone. We've already bounced a couple times here. I've already taken a trade on this and made profit on it on one of these original moves. I think it was this one. Yeah, it was either this one here in September or this one here in October. Whatever it is, it's in the Telegram channel. All the history is there. I've run that Telegram channel for free for like 7 years. Now, when price broke above this region here and came back to retest, I was originally looking for buys, but the problem is we didn't have that far of a breakout. Normally, I'll only take break and retest trades if we have a breakout that's pretty far, and then price has a movement, retraces, and comes back. You just get more nice bounces instantly if that happens. When price does this stuff where it's like, you know, it's bouncing as resistance and then it barely breaks above and it quickly comes back, a lot of those turn into fake outs where they just dip back below the zone. They leave that high there where they liquidated everyone who was short. And that's what happens a lot of the time. I don't like that. I do not like being pegged by this pair right here. It's just not my thing. I know there are some other times where being pegged is okay, and I don't know when those times would be. And I've never done that myself last Thursday at 8:30 p.m. at night. That's just not the kind of person I am. But I do believe that if you're getting pegged here in these charts, you can avoid it a lot by not taking break and retest trades if price hasn't broken out very far. You have to wait for it to go further, then come all the way back. In this kind of case scenario here, I think this is going to fake out, come back below the zone. I think this will be a pretty easy target to breach, and it's also kind of cool that the target is before the recent low, because that way if it continues its uptrend, right, it can still pull back, hit your profit target, you're out. And then if it continues back to the upside, well, you're already out, right? You're out in profit. So it's kind of cool when you get to target like before the recent lows. So this is a good potential setup here. We don't know what'll happen. Maybe it'll bounce up and we get stopped out. Maybe it goes down and we win a nice trade. But you know, we don't know. You pay to play. It's painful sometimes. So just GBP CAD. We're going to go down here. USD CHF. I think price might bounce up, but I'm waiting on a test of this extreme lows down here. NZD JPY. I don't even know what the hell this pair is doing, especially on the higher time frames like weekly. We do have a good kind of support resistance zone, but I took it off here because look how wide this is. Like, where are you going to buy at? You going to buy up here at these lows? Or are you going to wait for it to come down to these lows here? Or are you going to like draw it here and wait for price to come down to like this region where those wicks were? I don't know. This just looks kind of weird for me. So probably explains why I just didn't do anything here. For now, I'm going to wait for it to see if NZD JPY can go up. I don't have any specific plans for this pair, though. I'm just going to wait. CHF JPY is in a bull run. I think she still looks good for buys. However, where are you going to enter and put your stop loss at? You're going to do something like this? You're going to buy here and you're going to put your stop underneath the recent lows? What if you get liquidated, right? It's still in an uptrend, still likely to go up. Now you get stopped out. So what do? You put your stop loss there on the daily, below the low? Well, if you're going to do that, why not just wait for price to get all the way there? Then you can enter right there at the point of whether it's like make it or break it. And then your target only has to be 1-to-1, and you can risk a lot of money. And then if it breaks, okay, you're wrong, and it'll probably be a quicker trade. Entering way up here, there's no real way to control risk if you're a swing trader. You know, if you don't at me, if you're trading on the 10-second chart, you know, I will take off my hat in respect. I'm not wearing a hat, but I will still respect you because you're trading the 10-second chart. I will never be that good. I'm such a horrible trader. I have to look at weekly charts and take things nice and slow because I have performance anxiety. And it's not just in trading. I get stage fright in a lot of other places too, depending on what the circumstances are. Which I wouldn't know anything about that, but you know, it is what it is. So CHF JPY, finishing up here, we've got GBP AUD. Now GBP AUD is an interesting one. You know, price could bounce here along these lows. So what I'm going to go ahead and do, I can't believe I don't actually have this here on my chart yet. I was personally waiting for GBP AUD to get up here to these highs because I thought it was going to make a move for it. It looks like last week's candle closed a little bit more bearish than I thought it was. Yeah, we had a quick rejection. So the last week's candle closed is kind of like an indecision candle right there. And you know, currently after last week's candle, we have the current open candle today kind of going downwards. So I think this is probably a little bit more likely to go down than up. Who knows? I'm not going to do anything regardless until price gets to one of these areas. If price can get down here into these lows, I will be buying. I will be a buyer with a stop below and a target above. Euro JPY, I don't have anything marked. I don't have anything potential here on this for me. NZD USD, we already talked about this one. So that kind of wraps it up. As far as crypto's going up. I'm waiting. I'm not changing any of my positions. They remain the same as I showed in the last video. So for forex, though, we got a couple good opportunities that are potentially setting up as well as an opportunity right now. I'm going to go ahead and get off this YouTube video and go ahead and go call this trade out right now. So I will see you in the next video, my friend. I hope you have an amazing rest of the day. You know, if you want to ask me something in the comments, go for it. If you want to ask me something in the like button of the video, go for it. If you made it here to the end, I want you to leave a number in the comments. What number are we going to leave?
25.
25. Absolutely no reasoning. Just leave the number 25 in the comments, somewhere in your comment. And then if I see it in the first day or two, I'll get back to you. I'll answer your question or I'll at least like it or something. See you in the next video, my friend. Cheers. All 25 of you.